Yeah, welcome back, gals and ghouls. This week we take a look at everyone's favorite terrifying storyteller, the Crypt Keeper.
From the Crypt.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't think it wouldn't be Halloween if you didn't hear the Crypt Keeper's nasally, terrifying shriek of a voice. Now, for anyone who grew up in the late 80s or the early 90s, you would have to remember HBO's primetime fright fest, Tales from the Crypt, in which the main character was a bony old zombie just named the Crypt Keeper and had horrifying tales of horror and misery from his book that he kept by him at all times in his coffin. And there'd be gruesome tales like Food for Thought with a dismembered head or All Eyes Are on You, and each story would always have a creepy moral and its own Twilight Zone twist on things. Now, there was a copyright battle that went on between HBO and the original EC Comics Tales from the Crypt that had nothing to do with the Crypt Keeper from the 1950s. The show was so popular, it even had a couple of albums that came out: Tales from the Crypt, Monsters of Metal, and Tales from the Crypt Have a Scary Little Christmas. The series was so popular that it even spawned a Saturday morning cartoon spin-off on ABC called Tales from the Crypt Keeper, an animated show that featured a series of G-rated spooks. It even spawned a line of 8 different action figures that were made for the Tales from the Crypt Keeper show and were pretty collectible. Yeah, alright, ghouls and gals, let's take a look at some of this creepy Crypt Keeper stuff that I have here. Now, first off, we have this ghastly delicious Tales from the Crypt Have Yourself a Scary Little Christmas cassette. And as you can see, it's in a delightfully creepy slime green color, and you have the Crypt Keeper on the front of it in a Santa Claus hat, and I certainly wouldn't want to sit on his lap and tell him what I didn't want for Christmas. And as you can see, it's titled on the front of the cassette, Have Yourself a Scary Little Christmas. And it has a good list of horridly delightful songs like 'Twas the Fright Before Christmas, Revenge of the Crypt Keeper, and Should Old Cadavers Be Forgot, a classic that's always remembered around that time of year. Ha 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 ha. And on the back, of course, we have the Crypt Keeper hamming it up, announcing all of the credits and copyright information, which is rather silly. And that'll do it for the Tales from the Crypt Keeper holiday cassette. Delightfully creepy, I think. And now let's take a look at something even more terrifying, and that's the Tales from the Crypt Keeper action figure. And this is one of the toys that were made around the ABC Saturday morning cartoon Tales from the Crypt Keeper. And as you can see on the front, he looks quite ghoulishly handsome in his Crypt Keeper robe and scary face, and even has an action feature. His head turns towards you when you raise his arm up in the air. And on the back here we have all of his other different scary minions and friends and demons, like Frankenstein, the zombie, the Crypt Keeper himself, the werewolf, a vampire, the Crypt Keeper in his all dressed up in his suit, and the mummy. And down at the bottom here we have a little bio card of the Crypt Keeper. It says you can turn off the lights and you can lock the doors. The Crypt Keeper is coming for you. He will take you on a journey through his outrageous world. And it has a little picture on the bottom of how his action figure works when you lift up his hand and what his head is supposed to do. And hopefully it doesn't come unjointed from the rest of his body. But as you can see, for a simple little action figure, I think he looks pretty good with his rotten teeth and decaying eyes and skull. They really captured the Crypt Keeper pretty awfully well, I think, in this action figure form. Alright, gals and ghouls, thanks for joining me this week on Halloween, and make sure to tune in next week as Halloween continues. Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time!